How's it going? In a previous video, I showed you how to prepare an inspection package in AssetAsyst and download that to your phone or tablet for inspections out in the field. This time, I'm going to show you how to perform the inspection using the mobile app. So you can see I've already got a couple of packages on my device. So if we tap on one of these, it'll open the package and we can see all the inspections that are in this package. Nice little list. We just tap on one to open that inspection. Or we can tap this map button. That will then open the map and we'll be able to see the inspections plotted visually. So you can see here they are all dotted around this Moss Vale area. And if we tap on one of these red dots, that brings up the inspection. And we can tap this little arrow and that'll take us directly to the inspection. Now, there are two main methodologies that are used when inspecting bridges and culverts in AssetAsyst. We've got the VicRoads methodology and the Queensland TMR methodology, which is quite similar to the RMS methodology which is used in New South Wales. Now, I'm going to show you the VicRoads one first because it's a little simpler, and then we'll look at what differences there are for Queensland. So let's open up our VicRoads example. So we're going to have a look at a level 2 inspection, but I'll also show you how level 1s are different, and again, they're just a little bit simpler. Alright, so on our first page here, you'll see if this bridge has been inspected using AssetAsyst in the past, we'll get some information about the previous inspection, when it was done, and some comments. We've also got a button for asset details. And if we tap on that, then we can just see all this information about the bridge itself, and we can edit this data if we want to as well. We can click this open map to see where this bridge is, and the navigate button will make use of the inbuilt navigation features in your device to show you how to get to this bridge from your current location. And you can see in my example, I have quite a drive ahead of me. So back on the inspection details screen, you'll see we've got a couple of other tabs. We have a units tab, which will show you all the components of this asset, and a defects tab, which will show you any existing defects. So we'll go back to the Units tab. So what we want to do now is assess the condition of all the components. So let's open one up. So you'll see here we've got this condition and there's 4 boxes. So these represent condition 1 being near new, condition 2, condition 3, and then condition 4 being near end of life. Now in VicRoads, these numbers are percentages. So you can see that this component is 100% in condition 1, which is very good. But say things have deteriorated a little bit since our last inspection. Maybe it's only 50% in condition 1, and it's now 50% in condition 2. You'll also notice that this background is green when these numbers all add up to 100%. So you know that you have fully assessed this component. We can choose an exposure class, we can enter a comment, and we can add a defect. So let's say we've got 25 there, and we've actually got 25% in condition 3. Now once you're hitting condition 3, you probably want to log a defect. So we'll add a defect here. Right, so it's important that we choose a defect type, and we have a list to choose from that are relevant to this component in the VicRoads methodology that we're using. So we'll pick a blocked drainage. Now the first thing you'll know is it automatically puts a description in for us based on the defect type we chose. Now this is really good because this can save you a lot of time typing out in the field. And the less time you have to spend typing with your fingers on these little on-screen keyboards, the better. But this is of course fully editable, so we can change this, we can add to it, we can completely remove it. It's up to us, but this is just an initial description which can be a great time saver. Next, we want to select a repair item. And again, these repair items are specific to the defect type that we just chose. So we're going to choose this one here. And again, you'll notice that it's filled in a repair description for us. Imagine taking the time to type all of this on your phone. We can enter a cost, an estimate for repair if we want to. Now we'll probably want to take a photo of this defect. So we can just tap the camera button here. And you'll see you get a nice little view of my ceiling. So we'll take a photo. We'll say OK. And that photo is then added to the defect. Now we can choose from a pre-selected list of captions for that photo, or we can just type whatever we want in here. You can also use the gallery button to add a photo that is already on your phone and just choose it from the camera reel. Alright, so we can go back and we can consider this component done. Now this bridge has been inspected using the software before, so we already have a full list of components. But say this was a brand new bridge we hadn't inspected before and this list is empty. Well, we can add a component to this list using this add button right here. So we'll tap that and let's add some masonry arches. And that'll show up there. You've got the little red bar to show that this is a newly added component that will need to be assessed. So that's pretty much the process you go through all the components. Once we're done, we'll go back to the detail screen and we'll click the sign off button. And this will check the inspection to make sure that we've done everything that we need to do. Now in this case, it said, well, component 5M, the assessment is incomplete, and that's because that's the new one that we just added. It doesn't have any condition yet. So let's just say, hey, this is 100% in condition 2. And we go back and we sign off again. It'll now recheck. And this time it's happy. We've done everything we need to do. So this inspection is signed off. This is now ready to be uploaded back to AssetAsyst and imported into the system. So let's go back now and let's have a quick look at a level 1 inspection. Now, when you're doing a level 1 inspection in the software, you're not wanting to do a full condition assessment. Now, we have a list of units here. If we will open up one of these, we don't have that condition assessment section. We can still add a defect, but you'll find the defect types that show up for a level 1 inspection will be different to the defect types that show up for a level 2, because you're looking for different kind of things at a different level of detail. So we can add a defect just like we did before, or we can just tick this to say this component has now been inspected. And then we can tick that one to say that's inspected, and that's the process done. Now let's look at a Queensland example, because things are a little more complicated in this methodology. So again, we have a level 2 inspection. Now let's go to our units tab. Now you'll see that this looks quite a bit different. In the Queensland TMR methodology, what might be represented by a single component in VicRoads might be represented by up to 10 components. So these components are grouped to make it easier to manage them. So for example here, we've got 53C batter protection. You'll see there's actually 2 components in this group. But we're still seeing a condition assessment here. So if we tap on this, and there's the 2 components that make up this group. Now of course, another distinction between VicRoads and Queensland is that in Queensland we're no longer using percentages, we're specifying exact quantities in our condition. So you can see here, this is our quantity, 80 meters squared, and the full 80 meters squared are in condition 2. So say we want to change that now, so let's say we've got 40 in condition 2 and we've got 40 in condition 3. Now, when I click this assess button, it's going to take this 80 meters squared and it's going to apportion it between these 2 components. So let's do that assessment now. And so there you go. We've now got 20 meters in condition 2, 20 in condition 3, and another 20 and 20 in this component. So it's just split this number out amongst these. But these 2 components may not have the exact same condition. This, again, is a time saver, but you can go in to this one and say, well, actually, this one is not quite like that. This one is actually 30, and this is only 10 in condition 3. So these 2 are now different from each other. So we use this up here to give kind of the broad amount that we split amongst all the components, and then we tweak the ones that are different. But again, if you don't want to use this, you can just go straight into these and just edit them all individually if you prefer. Now, the location down here becomes much more important for Queensland than it was in VicRoads, because we have these multiple components. So if we come in here, we can specify the modification, the group, and the component, and give a number for each of these. So this helps us to uniquely identify this component on the asset. But say you're out in the field and you realize, hey, there's another bridge here that I want to inspect, but this bridge is not in AssetAsyst. We don't actually have any record of it. Well, you can actually create a brand new asset in the field. So here on our package, in our list of inspections, we can use this add button here, and we can just fill in the details. We can give it a name, a number, we can choose a methodology, an asset subclass. In this case, it's going to be bridge. We can set schedules for inspections, set a maintenance category, and then we create. That will then create that bridge, and it will create a level 1 inspection and a level 2 inspection for you. Now, you don't have to use both of those. If you're only interested in the level 2, then only fill in the level 2. Leave the level 1, and it will not impact anything. Now, once we're done with our inspections, we've signed off all the inspections that we want to upload, we can come back to this packages list screen, and all we need to do is drag down to refresh with our finger. And that will then start the sync process. This will upload our changes back to the server, and it will also download any updates to things like the methodologies. And once that's done, our data is safe on the server. So let's go back to the website. So we're going to go to our packages page. We can see here we've got our Queensland example and our Vic Roads example. So we'll open this up and we can see this level 2 inspection that we completed and signed off. This now shows as uploaded. We never actually completed the level 1 inspection. We didn't sign that off, so that hasn't been uploaded here. But this one is ready to go. But this data is not actually in the system yet. It's up on the server, but it hasn't been imported into AssetAsyst. So to do that, we use this blue import button. We'll click that, and that will then process the changes and apply them to the data in the system. And once that's finished, we're good to go. You'll notice that the inspection has moved from this open tab into the completed tab. It's got a nice little tick to say, we've done this. Now, we might want to run a report on this inspection, and we can do that directly from this page. So if we drop down this little reports box, you can see we've got a range of reports we can run on it. We've got level 1 Excel reports, we've got delivery reports for level 1 and 2, we've got a specific TMR report for Queensland, and we've got a Vic Roads report for Vic Roads structures. So all of that is here for your convenience. You can also access these reports from the menu by coming into here. So we can just come in here, we can see the data has been signed off. And here's our defects. There's the defect we added, the blocked drain. And there's the photo of my ceiling that we took. So that's the process for conducting a structure inspection for bridges, culverts, and marine structures out in the field using AssetAsyst Mobile.